Hey, this is Sri here. In today's video, I'm going to talk you through why men tend to come back after they've gone through a separation. Now, before we dive in, I just want to let you know that I'm opening up a few spots for my Authentic Relationship System training program, which is an incredible program geared towards helping you not only in your marriage, but to help you to become the best version of yourself. So if you want to learn more about it, then all you need to do is just in the description section below, just click on the link where it says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that will work for you, fill out the short application form, and then I will contact you at the scheduled time just to understand where you are now, where you want to get to, and how we can bridge that gap in the shortest possible time. It's going to be a great call, and I can't wait to be of service to you. Now make sure you hit the subscribe button below so that every week you get access to my latest videos teaching you specifics about how to improve your marriage, how to become the best version of yourself, and how to really create that internal healing as well, because I'm a huge believer that in order to create extraordinary marriages, we have to do a lot of the deeper inner work inside so that we can show up in the most authentic and real way that we possibly can. For those of you who haven't met me before, my name's Sri Rajasekar, and I help women from all over the world to be able to create extraordinary marriages, to be able to save their marriages if it's on the brink of a divorce, and also how to make sure that you understand more about male psychology, because I'm a huge believer that men and women show up in completely different ways within a marriage. And if you can understand more about male psychology and really learn the intricacies of the male mind, then what that's going to do for you is going to allow you to show up in the best way and communicate with your husband in the best way that you possibly can to essentially create a marriage that is going to stand the test of time. Now, one of the things I've noticed recently is I've been getting a lot of messages from clients about how their husbands have come back after 3 or 6 or 12 months separated. And it's really got me thinking about why men tend to always come back after they've gone through some form of a separation. And the reality is that you're probably feeling quite confused about that behavior. It's almost like, for years they haven't given you the time and the energy that you've really wanted and that you've craved from them. And yet you go and spend a few months away and suddenly they're coming back to you and begging you that they want to make this work and they're really committed to it and they're seeing the growth in you and they want to be a part of this again. And it's probably really confusing and you're thinking, what on earth do I do from here? Do I actually engage in this? Do I give it my all now? Do I step back? Is this for real? What's the deal with these mixed messages and so on? I know how confusing it is, and that's the reason why I wanted to shoot this video today. Now, I just want to be clear here that this video is really for those who've been in a long-term relationship or marriage for a lengthy period of time. We're not talking about, being involved with someone for a month or two. This is really for individuals who have been together with their husband or partner for years. And I think if we're looking at it from that perspective, there tends to be different patterns over that period of time, and also the impact that it has on you versus if you're just with someone for a month or two. It's a very different dynamic. So I just wanted to state that before we go ahead. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain to you firstly why it is that men tend to always come back after a separation or some sort of period of time where there's been some distance in the marriage. So firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through some reasons why men tend to come back after a separation or a period of time where there's been some distance in the relationship or the marriage. And then secondly, I want to explain to you some key steps that you need to make sure that you take if your husband or partner does decide to come back and actually want to make this work for you. Now, firstly, why husbands or partners come back after a period of separation is a really fascinating topic, because when we look at this and we look at individuals as a whole, we tend to overvalue what we don't have and undervalue what we do have. So when we have this lovely marriage or relationship, at the beginning it's wonderful. And it's like anything. Like if you think about when you buy a new phone or you buy a new pair of sneakers of some sort, at the beginning you absolutely love it. But then over time, the feelings, the emotions relating to that particular item, they start to diminish. And that's just very normal. That's normal human behavior. The issue is, though, is that we tend to apply that in our relationships or marriages. And it comes from the fact that we don't actually work on it at the deeper level. We're not constantly trying to feed it in a positive way. We take things for granted. We rest on our laurels. We just let things sort of unfold and we put our time and energy into other things that might seem fresher or more enjoyable in the moment, rather than looking at it from a long-term perspective and recognizing what is actually going to matter the most to me in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Now, if we go even deeper than that, as human beings, we have some fundamental human needs. We have some fundamental drivers that are really at the core of what it is that actually motivates us and makes us do what we fundamentally do. So a couple of those needs are, firstly, the need for certainty. We need to know that we've got X amount in the bank, that we know that we can survive, that we know that we're going to be okay, that we've got a sense of security and a sense of safety, both on a physical level but also on an emotional level. And then another key need that we have to feel that we've met is the need for significance. Feeling special, feeling important, feeling unique, feeling respected. It's so important, and it's particularly important for men, and something that a lot of individuals don't really understand. They don't realize that men need this at the very core. Generally speaking, women tend to be driven a lot more by love, whereas men tend to be driven more by the need to feel special, to feel unique, to feel respected, to feel important. Now, if we're looking at it from that perspective, if we're in a relationship and we're not getting our needs met in terms of feeling a sense of being respected and being unique and feeling like we really matter, and what's going to happen is, and over time, his sense of self, his self-esteem, his self-worth and so forth is going to be chipped away. And so it's going to get to a point where it's like, you know what, I can't handle this. Now, in addition to that, whilst we have a need for certainty and security, we also have a need for variety or uncertainty. Now, what that means is that, as I said before, when we've bought a new pair of sneakers and, it's quite nice, it's exciting, we like wearing it out in public, we get some nice compliments from people, but over time, they start to wear down a little bit. They don't look as good, they don't look as shiny. And because we don't get the same amount of joy and the same amount of satisfaction we get from those pair of sneakers, then what happens is we crave something different. And because we crave something totally different, then we're going to be looking elsewhere. We're going to be looking at new shops, we're going to be looking at new stores. Now, the same applies in relationships as well. Is that if an individual over time, if the relationship is not being nurtured, if it's not growing at the level that it needs to, then over time individuals can get to a place where they realize, you know what, I need something different. Now, that needing something different may not necessarily mean I need someone different. It might just mean I just need to get out of this environment. I need to get out of this place because at the moment it's all very stale. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I feel like I'm in pain all the time. I feel like I'm being rejected all the time. I feel like I'm not good enough, and so on. And so because of those thoughts that tend to go through the mind of a lot of men in these circumstances, they end up in a situation where they just want to simply walk away. They want to get away from that environment. They want to be able to feel like they can clear their mind and clear their head and just get out of that environment for a period of time. Now, what can also happen is that there sometimes can be a complete loss of control for a man as well in that environment. So he feels like he's the one that's being completely dominated. He doesn't know what to do, and he wants to get away from that environment because it's just too uncomfortable, it's too painful, it's too scary, and he's not sure what steps to take in order to be able to reclaim his sense of self. And sometimes what can happen for certain men is that they feel like they're inadequate. They feel like they're completely just not good enough. And when they feel like they aren't good enough, then what's going to happen is they're going to gravitate to environments where they do feel like they're enough. And so when you look at all of this and you see the dynamics that often occur in relationships and marriages, you can see how initially men will crave a sense of certainty and significance, and then there is this desire for variety because a lot of the times relationships aren't being nurtured in the way that they need to grow and to get better. And then they are drawn to other environments which makes them feel significant and certain. However, what then happens is a lot of the time when I'm working with clients, the female partner will then start to do a lot of deeper work inside of themselves. They'll start to elevate, they'll start to grow, they'll start to become the best versions of themselves and really heal some of those deeper wounds inside of them. Once they do that, they show up in the best way that they can. They show up in a totally new and authentic way. And they really connect in with the very essence of who they are as an individual. And then what happens is over time, the husband or partner starts to see that and goes, oh my goodness, what have I done? And the reason why this often comes in is because a lot of men think that sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, that their sense of freedom that they're craving, because they're operating in that survival mode, they think that that sense of freedom that they've been chasing, or maybe seeking another person to fill some of those needs inside of them, they think that that's going to somehow heal them and resolve their internal wounds, but it never does. So then they suddenly see this environment where they've spent so much time and put so much emotional energy and so much work into over the years. They start to see their partner, they start to see the environment that they were in as this incredible place, and they're thinking, what on earth have I done? Why on earth did I do what I did? And then they try and do everything they can in order to get back in the good books with their wife or their partner. And once again, if we talk about the need for significance, what happens in that situation is suddenly the female is up here. She's really reclaiming herself. She's been the best version of herself. She's really creating some massive transformations from within. The male, on the other hand, is down here. Now, part of the reason why he wants to actually get back into that family environment again is because he sees this as an opportunity for him to raise himself. He sees the woman here and he recognizes at a subconscious level that there are some massive learnings there and opportunity for growth for him. So he wants to be in that environment to make sure that he can actually reclaim his sense of self. Because regardless of what he's done, he is also hurting. And I really want to encourage you to open your heart from that place as well. I know it's probably uncomfortable. I know it's painful. I know even the thought of trying to show compassion and empathy for someone who's walked away in the past or is wanting to walk away, that's a really uncomfortable thought. And so I know that's scary, but I really want to encourage you to open that heart, because by opening your heart, you're actually healing within yourself as well. I just wanted to make that point. Now, this is where it gets really important, because if he's come back and he's wanting to make this work, you have to make sure that you're really looking out for the signs that are going to show that he's actually being really, really genuine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk you through 3 steps that you need to make sure that you take if your husband or partner has decided to come back, and how to make sure that you're making the best decision possible for your future. Now, the first step that you want to take is to make sure that you're actually evaluating these circumstances based on incremental action and not just on one action. Now, what I mean by that is that, you're going to be in a situation where your husband or partner has come back and he said, look, I'm so sorry. I was an idiot. I shouldn't have done the things that I did. Will you take me back? I really want to make this work. I'm really committed to our family. Now, I know that just him saying that will probably fill you up with a lot of excitement. Whilst there might be a part of you that's scared and is skeptical, there's also going to be a part of you that's going to be really, really excited. And one of the mistakes that I see a lot of people make is that they take those words and they immediately jump into it and give their all to the marriage. And what it does is sometimes can set themselves up for a fall. And the reason why is you've got to remember is that we're all human beings at the end of the day. And what that means is that when you're a human being, you're going to be affected by emotions. And some individuals are just not very aware of what's going on internally within themselves. They don't recognize the differences between coming from the heart and coming from their head. They immediately think that if they have this thought of, I want to get back with my wife, then immediately that's the right thing to do. And then they get back with them and then they think, oh my God, I need my freedom. And they immediately want to get out of that environment then suddenly. But they don't recognize that actually what that is sometimes is the difference between them connecting with their heart and them connecting with their head. And because of the fact that we're emotional creatures, and a lot of individuals don't necessarily have the awareness, we have to make sure that we are being as smart and as intelligent as we can when husbands or partners actually say, look, I want to come back. So what we have to do is, rather than just basing it on one action, you've got to make sure that you're noticing regular deposits in the emotional bank. What are the things that they're actually doing here? Are they actually stepping up on a regular basis? Are they truly committing to you? Are they prepared to have deeper, honest conversations with you? Are they actually opening up emotionally and being able to share what's actually going on inside of them? You've got to look at the action. Don't base it on potential, base it on actual action. And what that does is it makes sure that you don't set yourself up for a fall either. So make sure you always evaluate on incremental action rather than just as a one-off. Secondly, you want to make sure that you're trusting in your own intuition. I really believe that women have this incredible sense of intuition, and when they connect in with their own feminine spirit, they can pick up things that a lot of individuals actually just can't pick up on. They have this sense of feeling inside of them. And you'll know that in the past, I'm sure you've had conversations with your husband or partner, and he says something, but there's a part of you that's just going, I'm not so sure about this. And you were probably proven right. And this is why I actually really believe that you have a deeper sense of knowing inside of you than you probably even realize. And so what that means is that when your husband or partner actually comes back and says, look, I really want to commit to you, I want to make this work, you'll have this deep sense of intuition inside of you that says, actually, this is real, or I'm not 100% sure about this. This doesn't feel right. And I think it's important to really honor that. Now, does that mean if it doesn't feel right, you don't allow your husband to come back and actually put the time and energy into you? Not necessarily, because it may mean you might say, look, I'm a little bit unsure at this moment in time. I'm not ready to walk away at this moment, but what I am prepared to do is give him a chance. And that means I'm going to go to step one, which is I'm going to look at the individual actions that he takes and make sure that I evaluate based on those individual actions. So really learn to also connect them with your own intuition. And you might be sitting there going, well, I don't even know how to do that. It feels like so long. It exists within you. Don't ever forget that. And sometimes what you can do is just go and spend some time and go and have a lovely walk in nature. Go for a lovely bushwalk or something and just really allow yourself to just stay in the present moment and really connect in with your own authentic self. Spend some time doing those things that bring you joy. And then from that joyful place, then you'll be able to really connect in with yourself and go, okay, this does feel right. Or no, this doesn't feel right. Or, okay, I'm a little bit unsure, but I'm going to allow him to just take a few steps and I'm going to evaluate and decide what those next steps are on this journey of ours, just purely from the action that he takes. Now, just quickly in the comment section below, just let me know, has your man come back after a separation, and what are some of the challenges that you're facing right now? Just write them down below and I'll make sure I respond to you as well. Now, the third step that you want to make sure you're aware of is the motivation behind his actions. Now, what I mean by that is, in situations like this, where let's say you've grown and you've done a lot of internal work within yourself and you're creating this massive transformation within you, he will start to feel that. What will happen is if he starts to feel that, he'll not only feel insignificant, but he'll start to feel as if you actually don't really care about him anymore, that you can actually go on in your life without him. And for a lot of men, that can be extremely scary. They not only feel insignificant, but they also feel a complete loss of power and control. And this is why you have to be very, very careful about the motivation behind his actions. Because if you're looking at it just by the behavior, not the motivation behind the action, then unfortunately what will most likely happen is you're going to get sucked into his deeper wounds rather than it coming from an authentic place. You're going to feel as if he loves you, but what's actually happening is he's feeling a loss of control and power. And once he gets the control and the power back, then he's going to probably distance himself again, because it's filled up that need inside of him. And I want to prevent that at all costs, because I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to be in that place where you're hurting and that you're suffering inside. And what that sometimes can do as well is it makes you feel like you failed even more. And I want to help you to avoid that at all costs. So you've got to look at that deeper motivation underneath the surface. Observe his behaviors. Observe what's actually going on inside. Notice the words that he's saying. Notice the things that he's actually applying on a regular basis. And this goes back to the previous steps as well, about ensuring that you're evaluating the steps that he's taking in order to really sort of get back into this environment in a really positive way, and whether intuitively it feels right for you as well. Don't ever disregard how it feels inside of you as well, because I truly believe that when we connect in with our own intuition, we can actually get a level of guidance and a level of direction that we need. And for those of you who are spiritually inclined, you can also pray on this as well. Pray to your higher power of some sort and ask for guidance, ask for direction, ask for guidance, ask for direction, and allow the universe or God's presence to flow through you and provide you with the messages that you need in order to be able to move forward and make the best decisions possible. And if you have any questions about any of this, just make sure you write them below. And if you're uncertain about the steps that he's taking and whether you should trust them and so forth, just write them down and I'll happily respond to you as well. But I know how complicated all of this stuff is. I know because when we're in a highly emotional state, a lot of the time we end up lacking the clarity that we need. We're not sure. We stop trusting ourselves at the deepest level. So it's for this reason that I've created my Authentic Relationship System program, which is there to help you to get the support that you need in order to be able to grow and to become the best version of you. But also know that whilst you're in this place of uncertainty, that you can call upon the help of myself and all the amazing women who are in the group to be able to help you and give you some encouraging pieces of advice that's going to help you to move forward and to get the results that you're really looking for. It's an incredible program, and we'll go deep into how to grow within you, how to save your marriage, and really how to learn more about male psychology as well. It's not for everyone. I don't just take on everyone as a client. You have to be a really good fit, not only for the program, but also for the community as well. So all you need to do to see if you're a good fit for the program is just in the description section below where it says book a call with me. Just click on that link below, choose a time that works for you. There's a short application form that you just need to fill out. And then once you've done that, I will contact you at the scheduled time just to see where you are now, where you want to get to, and how we can bridge that gap in the shortest possible time. It's an amazing program. You'll absolutely love it. And I can't wait to be of service to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit the like button below. If you want to get more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And let me know what your biggest takeaway from today's video is. Just write them in the comments below and I'll make sure I respond to all of them. And if you want to learn the 5 lessons that I've learned in the last 10 years as a relationship coach, just click on this video above. And if you want to learn how to save a broken marriage when only one person is trying, just click on this video above. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one.